Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. Have you been having problems threading your machine, especially that needle? I can't see the eye of the needle. Even when I'm wearing my glasses, I struggle to see that needle. So I'm going to give you a few tips on threading, especially that needle. Also, I'm going to talk about the bobbin, your automatic needle threader, and the cutter that cuts your thread when you're done stitching. So let's get started. You might be like me, in which I work on multiple projects at the same time, or I'm using 2 or more colors of fabric all on the same project. And so in order to make it easier for me, I purchased this accessory piece back here that's made for my sewing machine. This is a baby lock. So in your instruction manual, look in the section that talks about accessories for your sewing machine, and you might have one like this available. So you can put the large cones on them. You pull this rack up and then pull your thread up around there to begin threading it. If your machine does not have an accessory piece that you can purchase to hold large spools of thread, you can buy a freestanding one. You would go ahead and put your cone on there, thread it up through here, set it behind your machine off to the right side, and then begin threading your machine. Now, if you've just got a machine and you're just getting started sewing and you're trying to thread it and you can't seem to get it threaded, let me give you a few little tips on how to get that machine threaded quickly. If you're using the small spool of thread, this is your normal size spool that most of you have on your machine, you would just take this thread and begin putting it underneath over here. There's this little silver thing that sticks out. But if you're doing the large cone, you would go ahead and pull your thread up through this loop up above the cone of thread, then take it down here, and this is where you would start threading. Now on your sewing machines, every place that the thread needs to go has a number, so follow the numbers. So go underneath this, then I'm going around and I'm looking for number 2, which is right here, so I'm bringing the thread around. And then number 3 is down here. Now I'm going to bring it back up, and here's 4. But I can't continue because this is in the way. So if that's a problem, you have something in your way, press the presser foot button or lift the lever that controls your presser foot, and now you're able to finish threading it. So if that's been an issue, make sure that presser foot is up. So now here was number 5, and I'm going down here to number 6. Now number 6 is right here. And there's a little bar that comes out just below the number 6. You want to take your thread and put it behind it, and I've already done that. Then you're going to go down, so it's from the front of the needle is where you insert the thread. So if you've been trying to get that thread in there and it just won't go through, there's all kinds of little fuzzy pieces that stick out at the end of your thread. Take some scissors and just cut the end of the thread off. Now don't touch the end because then you'll just pull all those little fibers out again. And then lower the presser foot, because you'll find that it's easier to get your hand in there. One of the problems with the newer machines is they're all computerized. They have a lot of bells and whistles and gadgets in them. There's also a lot of extra little features down below here and your hand hits it, and it's really hard to reach in there to get anything done. So one of the things I like to do is use tweezers to grab the end, and then I have a little bit more space, another couple of inches, in which my hand will not touch all of this hardware right here. Another issue you may be having is you can't see the eye of the needle. I can't. Even with my glasses on and a lot of lighting, I still have a hard time seeing it. The problem is that the needle is silver, and the little piece back here that holds the presser foot is also silver. So here is how you can get around it. Take a piece of white paper, put it behind the needle, and now I can see the hole immediately. So then you can take the end of your thread and insert it in that hole. Now, some of you may be asking, well, doesn't your machine come with an automatic needle threader? Yes, it does, but it does break down. And mine has broken down 3 different times. So that's why I'm showing you some of these tips so that you can use those when you're having a bad day, when your needle threader doesn't work. So now I've just threaded my thread through the eye of the needle. Another thing that happens all the time is you'll take the end of the thread, and as you're pulling it out, it wraps around the needle, and then you've got a mess, and it's very hard to unwrap it. So what I do is I'm pulling on the thread here. I insert a finger between the needle and the thread over here, and I just pull it through and let my finger go all the way up to the needle and then finish. And it never gets tangled around the needle. With my sewing machine, I have some really large presser feet, and they're heavy and they're difficult to screw on. I have a handicapped right hand, and it's hard for me to screw the presser foot on and hold on to the presser foot all at the same time. So if you have hand issues, here's what I do. So here is my large screw over here, and this foot here, it's got a hole right in there, and it's going to wrap around from behind this screw back here. Now I'm trying not to get my head in the way and still get it on. I'm trying to hold on to it and screw this at the same time. Well, I'm able to get it screwed a little bit, but often my presser foot just drops right out of my hand. So I hold on to it as tight as I can and then lower the presser foot. It holds it in place for me, and then I can continue screwing it on. If you're having a problem stitching a straight line, it's because you're probably looking at the needle. The last thing you want to do when sewing is looking at the needle as you are stitching. On my baby lock machine and on a lot of your newer machines, if you look at the cover over your bobbin case area, there might be lines on it, and those are the lines you look at. Also on your metal throat plate, you will see lines on it. So what you want to do is select one of those lines. For instance, I have an 1/8 inch line, a center line, a 1/4 inch line, and a 5 inch line. That's all on the bobbin cover. And then way over here is a 1 inch line. Then back here, these lines here are centimeters. So if you're in another country other than the US, you're probably using centimeters. So that's the one nice thing about a lot of the newer machines. They have inches and centimeters. Well, let's say you don't have any lines, you have an older machine. You can always place a piece of tape wherever you want the edge of your fabric to go. And then you would take your fabric, line it up on that edge, on the inside edge here. Don't look at the needle. Just keep your fabric right up against that tape, and that's how you stitch a straight line. My machine comes with a thread cutter that's down in your underneath your throat plate. Often you will find that sometimes it's just not cutting the thread, and you're thinking that maybe it needs a new blade. Well, that's probably not what the problem is. It's usually because there's a lot of thread lint trapped around it, so you need to clean it. So to get to your thread cutter, you need to remove your throat plate. Now, I'm not going to remove my throat plate because everybody's cutter is going to be in a different location depending on which sewing machine you are using. So refer to your user's manual. And often when I am in there, I will take a pair of tweezers and I will lift the lint out around the cutter. Another area that gets dirty and you need to clean is underneath your bobbin cover. So you need to pop that off, remove your bobbin, and go in there and clean it out. Most machines come with a little brush. I hope this video was helpful to you. I'm sure many of you have run into one or more of these problems along the way. Thanks for watching and happy sewing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on the thumbs up button. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Click on the bell so you can receive notifications about my latest videos. I'm Cheryl, and this is Scotty, and this is Manny. See you next time, and happy sewing!